How's it going, everybody? Welcome to OP Entertainment. I'm Omar Darwish.
And I'm Pratik Cherian.
And this is our review of long awaited by both of us Avatar Fire and Ash. I almost just said Avatar 3 because at this point.
Sure,
no, if they're gonna put the colon and they're gonna give us a title, we're gonna say
Whatever. All right. Obligatory, spoiler free.
Yeah, spoiler free.
Yeah, spoilers for the first two, as I guess.
I don't remember enough about the first two to spoil anything.
4 billion tickets worth has been sold.
Yeah.
You know what happened in those movies. All right, going on.
We got to start by talking about the box office. Pratik, what do you think? 2 billion?
1.8.
I'm thinking 2. All right,
fair enough.
James
All right.
Cameron back at it again. You notoriously don't like this franchise. I notoriously like this franchise. What'd you think?
I think it's my favorite one. I'm going to say that.
You did it, James Cameron. You did it.
It took 3 movies and like 9 hours of film, but
You know what's hilarious? You know what's hilarious about that? My first thing I was gonna say was if you're not a fan of this franchise, I don't know if this one's gonna like be the one to win you over. But did it?
It didn't win me over where I'm like, I gotta go watch, Way of Water again. No,
Yeah,
no.
You're not popping that in.
No, but I enjoyed this one. I don't know that I'm eager to go see it again, but I'm much more willing to go see it again than I was to see it the first time.
I was actually upset at the end because I was like, man, I want to see this again, and it's so long. But go on.
I think that's my main complaint with the movie is not that it's long. I would say it's a bit bloated. How about that?
You can say it's long. That's fine. I think that might be my only real complaint is that it is very long. But that being said, it's paced very well. So for a 3-hour, 15-minute movie, at least the first 2 acts are paced very well. I'm gonna go into what I liked about it though.
Go for it.
The character stuff was great. The developments of the characters just from the beginning of this movie to the end of this movie, fantastic. From I'm not gonna remember anyone's names. Spider had the best character development throughout. Or at least not even development like through his character, but just his journey was the best, I guess, throughout. It was nice. And I feel like a lot of the characters had great journeys versus arcs. And it's just a fun time. Like I honestly, I can't see why people are hating on this movie in particular. Like unless you're just like out on Avatar in general. But like, how could you watch this and see what's on screen and be like, yeah, no, this is just mid or whatever. Like this is that. Yeah, I don't know. Go on.
All right, let me attempt to give the
extinguish this flame of love.
No, I think that I seem to remember reading that originally this was conceived as a part of Way of Water, and then they split it up into 2 movies because they had
that makes sense.
Stuff.
It feels like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that especially in the 3rd act, there's a lot in here that feels very, very similar to the 3rd act of Way of Water. I think that in trying to I think that this movie does do a good job of being different from the first 2, but I do think that there's a lot of there's still a lot of scenes that are very similar to scenes that we already had in the second movie. Yeah. And I think for a movie that's so long, and again, I just think that cutting some of those scenes would have helped make it feel a little less repetitive and would have helped with the pacing just a bit.
I wonder. I agree. I wonder if it's because maybe with the first Avatar movie, everyone hated the story of it, saying that it's like generic, it's Fern Gully in space. We've seen this before. And then with the second one, we didn't hear that complaint as much. And I think maybe James Cameron was like,
we still heard that the second one was very similar to the first
but
one.
I think the beats that worked in the second one, he wanted to do again in this one, and they're not like it doesn't. I don't know. I don't think it slows the movie down too much to try to use similar themes and.
I thought the movie gave us enough stuff that was different, where I was engaged for a lot of it. I think that one of the reason why I use the word bloated for this movie is there's so much going on, and there's so many different like plot points and character arcs, and I think that
it juggles it well, though, right?
It does, but I think that what inevitably happens is because there's so much, you're going to have like, let's say three of them that you're really interested in, and because you're so interested in those 3, everything that's not those 3 feels like a waste of your time. And I think what's going to happen for people is the 3 that they find most interesting might be different. And I think that that's going to lead to that's really going to color how you feel about the movie, because the stuff that you're latching onto is going to be very different person to person because there's so much different stuff.
But it's almost like giving every part of your brain and attention span something to enjoy or something to like invest in. And if you're not invested in this in particular plot line, like a lot of movies will like spend so much time on, or like at least give even time to plot lines, and like this like kind of, it doesn't spend too much time on either plot line, or it jumps from plot line to plot line like quick enough, or subplot to subplot quick enough that I wasn't ever like, oh man, this subplot I don't care about, because it would go back to what I cared about. So.
Again, I think that would be the case if it was a shorter movie. I think the
Yeah.
fact that it's 3 hours, that you spend enough time with a plot line that you don't care about, where you're just like, all right, can we move this along? Can I get back to what I'm interested in?
I guess I just was never bored because of everything that was happening, and like, and if the story ever struggled a little bit or anything like that, the visuals on screen just like, they have me. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm also a big sci-fi guy, so seeing all this is insane. Like,
speaking of the visuals, I was thinking about this as I was sitting there, because I've always felt that people liked Avatar because of the visuals, and it never really grabbed me the way that it grabbed a lot of people.
okay.
But watching this one, not that the visuals are like much
Like head and shoulders better,
or
anything.
different than what we've had before, but I think it's that like the CGI landscape of movies in general are so much worse that now this feels so much better.
Yeah, I was thinking to myself, like, this
Yeah.
is gonna spoil me for like every movie, like at least for the rest of the rest
Yeah.
of this year, because it's like nothing's gonna look this beautiful, and it's I do commend other movies that don't like use this amount of CG for having like the same kind of like color composition and like just like cinematography and like awe-inspiring scope, like other like a Denis Villeneuve, for example, like, but this like still like. The immersion you get with these Avatar movies is unlike anything else. And if you're a fan of, if you even somewhat like the previous two, I think you're gonna like this. I know this one, people were kind of mixed on this one, but do you have anything else you want to say before we score it? Because I really don't want to. I mean, we didn't really touch on like the story or the plot or anything. But
Yeah, I'll say this. I mentioned that there's going to be a couple things you latch onto. For me personally, I thought my favorite part of this movie was our, let's call them co-villains.
Oh yeah.
Like, I thought that
Well, depending on which co-villain. I mean, I think I know you're talking about the fire people, right?
I'm talking about the fire people, specifically the leader of the
leader,
fire people.
yeah,
And
right.
I looked up the actress and I completely forgot her name. I'm so sorry, but I thought she did an amazing job.
Yeah, she was great.
in this. I mean, I just thought her performance was electric. Every scene she was in, it was just oozing like magnetism in a way.
Yeah.
It just draws you in so much. And I thought that her dynamic with
Stephen Lang.
Stephen Lang's character,
Yeah,
thank
he
you.
was great. I was gonna say he
Yeah.
might be my favorite part of this movie.
I thought he had the best arc in this movie. And
Yeah.
again, I thought he had the best arc, and I thought that their scenes together, their chemistry and the way it worked, I thought that was the most compelling part of the movie for me.
Yeah, I went from like not really caring every time. Like Stephen Lang's like subplots in the Avatar movies, the previous two, used to be the ones I didn't care about. And
Yeah.
in this one, it is. You're right. That's the heartbeat of this. I mean, maybe not, but like it's at least one of the subplots that really has some like heart to it, and like
Honestly,
hard humor, everything really.
I was thinking about this, and like part of me was like, I kind of wish that this movie was just shot from his perspective the whole time. Like, I wish he was the main character, and he kind of is.
Yeah,
but
he
again,
kind of is.
But that goes back to our whole like, there's a lot in this movie. There's enough scenes in here where he is our focus.
Do you know what? Maybe that might be an issue people are having with this movie, because I could see people seeing his arc in this, without spoiling, I guess, his arc in this being similar to Jake Sully's arc in the first Avatar movie. And I guess I didn't really feel it when I was watching it, and I don't know if everybody will, but I guess that is kind of
I guess you
kind
could
of a similar
They
arc.
they definitely were doing that in the second one, so I could also see the people who are saying this is repetitive also have
Yeah.
that complaint, I guess.
But when you're doing this, I mean, these three movies it is like a big like colonizer story, and like I don't know. I guess certain things are gonna repeat, but it's not like this big. Oh, if you've seen the last one, if you've seen one of them, you've seen all of them, kind of thing. At least with this one, I really enjoyed it. So
all right, you ready to score? I feel like we're getting dangerously close to spoiler territory.
we
here.
are. Well, okay. I want to say this also. Some things, since we're talking about spoilers and we're not, but there's some things that I think this movie, out of all three, took the biggest swings.
Yes.
And some that you didn't really feel, and some that I was really happy, or at least I am excited to see where they're going with this, if they go anywhere with this. That being said, Pratik, if this is the last Avatar movie, are you happy or do you want more?
Yeah, no, go out on a high note. Like, it's one where it definitely, like, obviously it's set up to continue. 4 and 5 are have release dates. But if they decided to call it quits here, I would say that it's a satisfying ending.
I'd be happy that, like, I think it's a satisfying ending, and it's like, okay, we have a good Avatar trilogy, you know, like, but I'm curious as to, especially like I said, this movie took some big swings, and I'm curious to see the follow through on that if it ever does continue. And I'd be a little sad to see it stop here because of that. But
all right, fair enough.
yeah.
You want to score it?
I mean, it's really long, but the pacing of it's good. So like that's really my only gripe. I'm thinking just because it does need to be shorter, I'm gonna give it a 9. Just
Okay.
like if it was just 2:45, right? Like 2:30 to 2:45, it would have sung this movie. But it's just a bit long. Other than that, like I loved all the characters in this. I loved the journeys that they all went on. This for a movie that has a million subplots. I enjoyed most, to not all of the subplots. We've been with these characters, or most of these characters, for 3 movies now, especially Jake Sully, and I'm not sick of him. I'm not sick of this world. James Cameron still has this grasp of like awe-inspiring like beauty, putting it to screen. Go ahead, Pratik. Just give it a 0.
No, it's not a 0. Like I said, I think it's my favorite one. That said, not a high bar to clear because I didn't really like the other 2.
Yeah, it's the best one too. 2 out of 10.
It's too long. It's bloated. There's a lot in here that could be cut or isn't all that interesting. I thought some of the acting was a little uneven, even compared to the other ones. And
I honestly think this is the best acting out of all 3.
I don't remember this bothering me in the last one, but it definitely bothered me in this one. Sigourney Weaver and the voice work. There's a lot,
really?
There's a lot where she just sounds real. She's playing a
She
teenager.
sounds too old to be.
Sounds super old, especially in like moments of like high emotion from her character. And every time it happened, it took me out of the movie.
I thought that in the last one they used like a different voice actor and like used a hybrid of their voices. And in this one, I was like, oh, they're just using Sigourney Weaver. But like, it might have just been her last time too, and I didn't notice.
I think it was her last time. But again, last time I remember coming away like, wow, I'm impressed at how young she was able to sound. And this time, no.
It didn't take me out though. It didn't take me out at all.
I guess it did, only because it's like in my head it's like it's a 16-year-old on screen, and then she opens her mouth and she's 70 something. Like, okay.
Yeah.
That said, so I mean, yeah, it's long, it's bloated. There's definitely stuff to cut. There's definitely stuff that's repetitive from the last movie. I do think there's a world where you could cut the last movie and this one together into like one 3-hour movie that's really good. That said, there is a lot in here I enjoyed. I really liked our villains. It looks great. It's a 7. It's a 7 for me.
Yeah.
Solid 7. All right. Next week is Christmas, so we'll see what's happening there.
Yeah,
no idea what we're bringing you, but we might bring you something.
Yeah, maybe some Marty Supreme. We'll see.
You know what? If we get tired of our families and want to go to the theater, we'll make a trip. We'll see you guys then.
We'll see you guys.